Hey, there we go. Hi.
Hey,
Hi, everybody. My nice mellow transitions and fades. Not going so great this last couple of weeks. Gotta find something to hit with a hammer. So,
whatever.
You say the last couple of weeks, but we know that
We're
it's
into it now.
actually been.
It's part of the vibe. It's part of the
Yeah.
experience. It's baked in at this point.
It is the transition now.
Especially for Brindlewood Bay, I feel like this fits in with that like 80s and 90s transition method. You know, It's like,
Mhm.
we're in a cut, but not quite on action. There's gonna be like this pause where everybody's like waiting to go. This is good. Hey everybody. This is High Shelf Gaming. We of course are joined by our good friend Andy from the Jabroni scene, Nefarious Obit. That's you. That's you. Are you still in locations unknown?
I am. It's the same locations unknown,
That's
but
awesome.
unknown the location is.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Andy, for joining us. This is so much fun. Oh,
Anytime.
hey, things are moving. Things are happening.
Everything's fine. I definitely didn't have cameras in the wrong spot. We're fixed. We're fine. Everything's good. Yeah,
That's great.
Andy, you're Andy now. You're not Ethan anymore.
I'm into it. Whatever it takes. So yeah, let's get this ball rolling. Announcements. We have our general stuff. Oh, this Friday is going to be the second half of our D&D game. That Rich was running, our original D&D game. Last time ended with a lot of death.
Who caused that death?
I allowed the natural progression for one of those deaths to happen.
By closing the door and leaving him with the monsters. No. Don't.
It's just a
get out
question
of
of
this.
more of us were going to go down with him or not. That's all I was doing. So yeah, this next Friday is going to be a hoot for sure because it's original D&D, and the rules are made up or what is it? The rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Yep.
The whose line is anyway tagline. That's kind of what it is. It's Calvin Ball all the way. It's great. And then let's see here. Saturday, are we playing Aegon on Saturday? Maybe pin.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think so. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
We should be.
Sure.
And then we have like not a homebrew. We have a one-off cyberpunk game that is supposed to happen in a nebulous time frame. We're going to figure that one out. And I am so jazzed for it because it is such a meme game and it's going to be great. If it's allowed to occur, it's going to be great. We just need to find the right moment.
If the FCC doesn't shut us down before then.
Yeah. Or the Maritime Commission, those merchant marines could come after us. We don't want that. We gotta make sure that everything's okay.
Law.
Yeah. So we have some stuff to do. We have a game maybe in the wings that's going to be super awesome. And so yeah, excited about all those things. And I have been working on a Skunks Works project. I can't talk about it yet. Fuck. Okay. So anyways, we have vague booking. There's a thing coming that I've been working on.
Lovely.
I'll just move on from that. I'm so sorry for that. I shouldn't have even opened my mouth. Mike, why don't you take us into Brindlewood Bay?
Yes.
For
Smash cut to the trailer.
Yeah.
Go straight to the previously on Brindlewood Bay, right?
That's right.
We have everybody sitting around the table like, oh, this fudge has chili in it, and one person turning bright red. We have here in Faversham where they have the third largest lighthouse in the state. Everybody grimacing or
It's only because they put that stupid thing on top. They put that little capper on top. It's not even part of the lighthouse. It just gives it an extra 8 feet.
Yes.
So determined how to secretly undermine the authority of a local.
I was gonna say, I feel like 2 people in this group are gonna go fix that problem.
Just might.
It's like the whole sign coming into town is just number 3 lighthouse. Screw you, Brindlewood Bay.
That's right.
Number 4.
Can we do that though? Can we detour to the lighthouse to fix that?
Hey man, you can use the night move to do anything, right?
Oh, it's a night move. Oh my god, we're so gonna die.
Nighttime. It's nighttime out now.
Someone is falling off that lighthouse.
I know.
I was thinking Francis is accidentally buried underneath the unscheduled demolition of a lighthouse.
Yeah. See, the way I like to think of it is like they have an established in like 1776 sign or whatever for the stupid lighthouse, and then Brindlewood Bay made their lighthouse taller, and then these guys in Faversham like added a little like golden pike thing that made it again taller, and so theirs is older and is taller, but wasn't as tall as it was originally.
As if it was old. Like, yeah.
So yeah, so there's like all of this drama around the lighthouse, and
It's only taller because you put the weather vane on top in the 70s that like reports to the radio station. That's
we're very upset.
Enjoy that while it lasts.
Yeah.
Put it in the fudging ocean.
We got your
AM
number.
1666 here out of Faversham with your fancy weather reports from Weather Station Lighthouse 3.
Is this one of those things where like Brindlewood Bay doesn't have a weather report, like a weather station? So like you actually get the weather from this town instead.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah.
Let's see, what else did we do? Everybody got rounded up and taken to the bed and breakfast. At the bed and breakfast, Francis got like dragged off by the cops.
Yes, that's right.
As you do.
I forgot.
Like, we have questions that you need to come answer for us.
I'm in
down at the
custody.
station.
We
So
haven't
Deputy
forgotten.
Andy is going to come through and like, you got to come with me. Yeah. But we had to like, I keep having to write lists of names. I will get them by the end of the night, right? Like, Irene managed to scoop the things, the incriminating items that were on Francis at the time of her.
They're incriminating to the person who done it, and unfortunately, I had them in my possession.
Which looks bad for right.
It does. It does look kind of bad.
Yes. So to review what we've found so far, we have a copy of 5 O'Clock Stranger, a romance novel by Vivian LaFay containing a handwritten note. We have a letter declining an offer to be a judge in the Faversham's favorite fudge contest. We have a photograph of a group of elderly women, their eyes furiously scribbled out with charcoal. A phone book with Nell Quince's name and number circled in red ink, and Nell Quince being the organizer of the fudge competition who was found dead outside. You have an old brass key with a wooden tag embossed with a bird in flight, and a typewritten note found on Nell's body that says "Stay away."
What, 6 clues?
We're rolling with 6 clues already.
Yep.
Dang.
What is the complexity of this one?
Oh, 8. I thought we weren't telling. Oh, now we know.
Oh, dang.
What if we rolled with a -2 and just like
saw how it went?
Tried to fuck it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm in there getting like getting like hit by the cops. I know you did it.
Wrong.
Spitting blood.
Deputy Andy back there roughing up an old lady.
So if we do it, we guess and we get it wrong. Do we then go gather more clues to then get it right?
Or does getting it wrong give us a clue?
Or does it end the game?
It doesn't end it. I think it just means whatever you guessed is wrong, and that like something happens to show you that. I think
Irene will have to take the shot to make sure Francis doesn't say anything, because Irene knows that's the way Francis would want to go, and then Irene has to leave the party and flee to Canada, and then from there to a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty with the United States,
like Russia or something like that. It's like, no, I'm wanted in Russia. It has to be like Albania.
Yeah,
Irene's like, I already know the language, but never mind. That's like,
yeah. It just says that the solution is incorrect and the keeper reacts.
Okay.
Yes.
So we
prepare your reactions.
While Francis is at the jailhouse, the police station, we could take a shot in the dark at who did it. Probably fail that. Have that scene and then go save
Yeah.
Francis? So
That seem-
do we
That
wanna
would
do
be fun. That could be fun, I think.
We
Okay,
need
to get
pick
some
our-
action. Get some
We need to
action.
pick our
in this one,
XP
right?
triggers, and I already know my first one is going to be secretly undermining local authority.
No, what?
I feel like everybody
Yeah.
just leaves that one checked.
That is what I'm
Eventually,
thinking.
it's either like Sheriff Dalrymple or Dr. Bob, and
Right.
you're like,
With Sheriff Dalrymple, we just want him to quietly retire so somebody more capable can take over. And with Dr. Bob, likewise. With Deputy Andy, we would like to see him go to jail for no reason other than he is the deputy of Faversham.
Yes.
We
If
are
we can
so
cause
anti-Faversham.
Government of Faversham to collapse, leaving it a
Yep.
desolate wasteland, that is a win.
Unincorporated territory.
There it is. That's what we want them to become, is an unincorporated territory.
this is
surrounded in
nothing more than
scandal.
an exit on the interstate. There is no one here anymore.
Salt the earth, move on.
Just change the sign. This way to get to Brindlewood Bay. not
There it is.
Faversham.
So how many
So-
clues do we have?
You have 6.
You have 6 clues. Did we get a whatchamafallit?
Yes.
A void clue in
Oh,
this
we
last
have-
one.
We haven't gotten an actual void clue. We touched on a couple, like there was the symbol and
That's right. Some voidy
Mavis.
things,
Mavis
No
saw
clues.
a couple things and stuff like that. Who is the only person where I wrote their character and player name in the opposite order, so I can't actually flip through the list and find it. Okay. Let's do that so it matches. Sorry.
This one
everybody's
belongs to
excited to
player-
watch this part. Yeah. Like that's
Mhm.
player name Mavis, character name Ethan.
yes.
I will say,
Blank
since we are
slate.
in
Kylan's gonna have some big questions for us after that. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
he's read the house. It's
Kylan,
got
meet
real
Mavis.
different. That's
I've been an old lady the whole time. Surprise.
but you do an incredible cosplay of your character. That's right.
Reverse
Dude,
Mrs.
That's
Doubtfire.
right on.
Yes, reverse Mrs. Doubtfire. Can we? Somebody used to make that movie. I very much want to see the old woman pretend to be like a middle-aged man.
You thought I was your dad this whole time. I've been your nanny. I was your nanny.
I just pretended to be your dad.
You got no dad.
See, but what's the circumstance that leads you to do that, right? Because, like, I'm your dad, but I'm going to pretend to be the nanny so I can spend time with the kids. What's the opposite direction? Is that like real? You thought I was your dad, but I'm your nanny and your dad's dead. Like, what's...
Yeah, it's
like,
horror
movie's
movie
different.
territory. We're not in PG-13. We're in horror movie territory now.
No, I think it can still be wholesome. I think it's the dad needs to go on like maybe the dad's a super spy and has to go on a long-term mission, but doesn't want the kids to know he's gone, because then they'd find out that he's not just a traveling salesman. Because traveling salesmen don't have to go to Kuwait.
I was going to go the other way and say that the dad and the nanny were both spies, and the nanny is doing dad a favor because dad took a bullet for the nanny on their last mission.
There we go.
So we see the scene where the dad's handing off, like, here's my private cover, and then the nanny has to do it.
Is this that coffee shop screenplay game that
That's what I was
played
just about to say.
yesterday?
Yeah,
Because this is
like,
kind of
it's-
starting to turn into it. I think.
Welcome to Coffee Shop Screenplay. We used to be known as a role-playing game podcast.
Yep.
So-
I did want to say, since we're doing beginning of session things, I also have a Maven move, which kicks off at the beginning of the session. So once everybody's chosen their XP triggers for the session.
I got undermine the authority and share a memory of late family member.
My other one is to show someone I still got it.
Mine is undermine authority and share my wisdom with a young person.
Mine
I'm
is
just kept
undermine
this-
authority. Yeah, undermine authority, behave like a woman half my age.
Oh my God, we're all. This town is gonna burn to the ground.
Burn.
Burn it to
Nobody
the
likes
ground.
Faversham. No, nobody likes Faversham. That's fine.
Screw this
That's
Fudge
expected.
festival.
It's over for you, mother fudgers.
Yes.
So
it
my
was the
Maven-
worst fudge.
Sorry, my Maven move is Scarecrow. So at the beginning of the session, a stranger presses something into my hand or leaves something in a place where you will find it. You tell me what it is, the keeper. It functions as a clue but isn't attached to any particular mystery, but I can choose to assign it to an active mystery whenever I wish.
Okay.
Technically, I picked that move before our last. Did I pick that? No, I picked it
I think that was the
at the end.
advancement from last
We're good.
session. Yeah.
Advanced from last session.
So I think it is something that is left in your room, right? Like when you get checked in, like, oh, what's this like lying on the pillow, right? Like there's something there.
Nice.
I think it's like a small, no, well, not that small, but like one of those like little sort of like velvet covered jewelry boxes that kind of like snaps. It has like the hinge to it. And inside there's like a locket, like an old scrimshaw locket.
Okay. Excellent. That's a clue whenever I wish. So
Yes.
that is my back pocket clue, should we need it.
All right. So who are we going to baselessly accuse of this murder?
we have 6 bases.
We have 6 bases, but who are we going to maybe be? What if we're right? What do we do then?
Let's look at these NPCs.
I think it's the immortal lady.
But why?
And I think it's equally fun if it is her and if it isn't her, because that does not change the fact that she is immortal.
Which one is
she's
she?
either
Weber?
Charlotte Weber,
the local historian.
Yeah, she's a historian.
She is.
It's just her journals. It's not.
According to Legend Keeper, she's Frances McDormand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Recently of
Nomad
Land, formerly of Fargo. Yeah, like. Yeah.
I looked up actresses of a certain age that had a certain ageless quality about them.
But I mean, all that spooky shit could easily belong to her, I feel like.
True.
I'm feeling it. So looking at our clues.
I think she was supposed to be like one of the women in like the picture with like the eyes crossed out or something from last time too.
Yeah.
Well, it's what everybody else wanted to have happen. I was like, yes, go with it. It's like.
Yeah, and then the key actually leads to the lighthouse. Probably. We have to check that out, but you know.
We definitely should check that out.
We definitely have to go check out the lighthouse after we get everyone together.
I do want to see what they do. Like, what is the questioning of Francis?
Oh yeah.
Like they're like smacking like Francis like spitting out blood. She's like, "That's all you got, pansy." She's like secretly hardened. No, she would squeal at the mere mention of pain. So yeah. Francis is not gonna hold up well.
Okay, here's what I'm sort of feeling. Nell Quince is the organizer of this competition, and what Nell Quince has always been, I think what we're going to find is that Nell Quince discouraged somebody else from being the judge so that she could be the judge of the Fudge contest, with the express purpose she's a very like, ooh, we're moving forward with Faversham. We're going to make a new, hipper, more modern Faversham. So she wants to improve the lighthouse. She wants to change, change the way things are going. And the lighthouse, which we have determined was established in 1776, is of historical import, not only to Charlotte Weber, the immortal vampire who lives in Faversham, but also to the Ladies of Liberty, who see it as like any changes made to it are like this thing that it's like,
it's sacred. How dare you,
baby. Exactly. So I think probably the Ladies of Liberty all talked about how much they wanted Nell Quince gone. and they were trying to get her to leave. And so it was sort of Nell Quince being angry at the ladies of Liberty, and the ladies of Liberty being mad at Nell Quince. But then one of the ladies took the step to actually kill her. And
maybe she's
the
an
best
immortal
chance.
vampire.
And who would be best to kill someone except an immortal vampire?
Except for I think an immortal vampire would know better. Be able to hide them tracks better.
Exactly, and that's why
All
I
right.
could be wrong about this.
That's perfectly correct.
So the typewritten note is basically the message of staying away from the lighthouse.
Yeah.
To all of the lighthouse progressives in Faversham.
Mm-hmm.
Warning.
Yeah.
So was it
Exactly.
I almost want to be like, yeah, it's a typewritten note on like the back of a piece of stationery from the lighthouse.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's something to like really connect it there to be like, this is about the lighthouse without directly saying, well, it just happens to be on this sheet of paper. Like, happens to be, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can I roll for the clue or for the?
Oh,
You can roll
before
for
we
theorize.
before we roll for theorize, I do pull one last thing out of my pocket, and it was the thing that I found. I stumbled upon this while I was looking around, and I pull it out, and it's the Engraved Locket. And inside the locket, there is two sketches. And one of the sketch is a man in military uniform, in colonial era British war uniform. And the other is a pencil sketch of someone who looks exactly like Charlotte Weber.
Okay.
And this definitely isn't related at all to the same Vivian Le Fay novels of the woman who is in love with the British soldier who switch sides and then dies before they can marry.
Nothing like that. Nothing like
It
that.
all ties in. She would write badly researched novels because she knows all the history, but has to hide the fact that she knows all the history.
So
Fair
on top
biographies.
of the rest of it, we are theorizing that Charlotte Weber is actually Vivian Le Fay.
Yes.
Yes, and also an immortal vampire from the American War of Independence who was in
And
love
that's
with a
why-
British Army
and see,
officer
and
who
that's-
sacrificed himself.
And that's why she took out Nell, because she was like, look, these girls.
He's buried in the lighthouse.
It's just like, this is my fan club. I can't let them down, and they want this Nell person gone. I'm gonna get rid of her.
This is my fan club right here.
Yeah.
I'm
These
gonna
are the people who
roll.
hang out reading my books. Yes. So when the Mavens have an open, freewheeling discussion about the solution to a mystery based on the clues they have uncovered and reach a consensus, roll plus the number of clues found minus the mystery's complexity. So it's at -1 with the scrimshaw locket.
That's actually quite likely to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually gonna find his body, just bones in a British Army officer's uniform in the walls of the lighthouse.
What do you succeed off of?
Oh my god.
It has to be a 7 or higher to be any kind of success.
Okay, yeah. These dice are really fucking hard to read.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
No.
You rolled 6?
No, I rolled 1, 2, 3. I rolled a 7. Rolled a 7.
-1.
-1. So that's a 6.
Is a 6.
Okay. Everything's according
So,
to
You are not kidding.
The
Even these
solution
things
is
suck
incorrect.
to read.
you get used to it,
Yes.
but it does take a minute.
So let me
See,
find
and this
the
works
keeper
because-
reactions. Yeah, this is.
Opal
exactly
didn't
what we're
quite
after.
believe this anyway. She was just nodding along.
That was a lot to be correct
Absolutely.
about, so I'm really glad we haven't completely broken the suspension of disbelief yet.
The solution
wonderful-
is incorrect. The
Half of
solution is
that might be
incorrect,
true,
but
though.
at the end of the episode, we are going to get a scene with Charlotte Weber holding the locket in the lighthouse, and we're going to see a brick that and we pan beyond it, and there is just like the ghost of a Revolutionary War soldier there.
The lighthouse was
Refused to let that die.
commissioned in like at the dawn of the Revolutionary War, right? It's where he hid out, is where she found him. It's where like the whole book is really
Their
based.
whole love, all their love.
Mhm. Yep.
So yeah, I think as we kind of like bring people together to try to be like, hey, here's what
Jacques.
happened. Yes. You there, vampire woman. I choose you. That's...
She's like, pardon me, I'm just the historian.
I'm just the historian. You've never seen me in sunlight. That is unrelated. Where did this accent come from?
In
You
the
do
village
not
where I
see
was
me.
born. Bat. Like,
Bat.
I bet you do.
Human form.
Stop it.
So now we got to go get low stakes off the shelf too, right?
It's right there.
I think it's in the middle of the top one for me there.
Don't get me started. I'm also repping Dreamworld Mercenaries tonight, which a good friend of ours, Tankstein, made.
Ooh,
Excellent.
It's like Inception.
I know Eat Trash Be Free was associated with someone who was on your Discord as well. I forget their name, and I apologize for that. But that one's supposed to be coming in the next few days, I think, too.
Is that right, Mary's too?
I think that was somebody. No, that was David Cox, which I think they know, but isn't someone that we directly know.
There was somebody who mentioned it on your Discord once upon a time doing something for it.
It was probably,
There's so many Discords.
Anyway,
so many.
there's so many games. There's so many little games. There's so many cool games. We can do all the games. This game, which actually Jason was talking about, like things he's going to add when there's a print edition on Twitter this afternoon. So it's like, nice, looking forward to that. Yes, we bring everybody together. We get them in the room. We're like, you there, vampire woman. Da-da-da. And as we're like kind of getting up to the climax of like, and the reason we think you did this is because you hear like a scream from like, there's a stairway. There's like the room that you're in, and outside there's a hallway, and then there's a stairway that goes up to the next floor. And you hear tumbling noises coming down the stairs, and the body of the woman who was the dairy farmer lands at the bottom of the stairs outside the door.
Not the lady I talked to cows about with.
Yes.
She already smelled bad. It's just gonna get worse.
That's like immediate. You immediately start to smell worse.
That is Darlene Tweedy.
Yes.
Yes.
Darlene Tweedy, the broad-shouldered, gray-haired dairy farmer who carries the aroma of dung, now lies sprawled out with her neck clearly broken outside the door of this room, like her head like facing inwards, and everybody it's unpleasant.
And that whole moment is possible because the police were pulled away as they put me in their police car.
The
you
police
caused
are gone.
this.
Who's in the room with us?
Charlotte is in the room with you. Let's see. Who is
like I know this might not be how the game's supposed to work, but this is a good moment to be like, okay, who's actually here? So we can just mark them off of the list.
I think we'll definitely put Charlotte in the room, right? Because you can't accuse Vampire Lady if she's not there. And I think
can and will, but in this case, no.
I think Jeffrey, the guy who runs the pub, was down there because he was just like trying to find something to do and happened to kind of still be down there trying to have. He'd much rather be like running a pub, but he's like, well, they have like a glass of wine here. I guess I'll hang out and do that instead. I like, plaid shirt, suspenders. Ooh, I'm such a rugged but well-off man, right? Like, I think, let's see who else. Well, Darlene's here now. Okay, mark that one.
Who is going in and adding these things? Who is you? Who is you?
It's me.
Ethan is adding in Rip. Not it.
Rip.
Not it.
Not it. I just gotta keep track of it somehow.
Where are you doing this? Are you doing it on the?
I'm doing it on the
it's in the legend
NPCs,
came for the
NPCs,
NPCs page.
yeah.
Okay.
The pictures.
Got it. Okay. Because there's also the article that lists all the suspects.
Right. That would have
Yeah.
been a good place to do it too.
Nah, this works just.
This is
fine.
more fun when there's the pictures, right? Because
Yeah, it is more fun with the pictures.
we're gonna end up with like the entire cast of Harry Potter assigned to some of our NPCs by the
Yeah.
end of the night,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
just how this is gonna go. I think Bella Brown is in there, a retiree. She was the one who told you about like she's a member of the Ladies of Liberty. She was talking about the club. And I think that Charlotte Weber will be. She will probably have a glass of like red wine, and like say something snide about like, are you done accusing me of things yet? And she will take a sip of red wine, and look at Darlene there, and say, "Oh,
Is it red wine?
Poor Janet will be heartbroken."
If we wanted to double down, we should absolutely smack the glass out of her hand to find out if it's red wine or blood.
Deal with the dead body. That just
Oh,
died.
yeah. We gotta
Oh
like
God, it
go
was
check this
acid.
shit out.
Like,
I'm calling 911. I think that's gonna be Opal's response.
Call them so that they come back in the same car and bring Francis back.
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Call
the
them
call.
and specifically request Deputy Andy.
Yes, I call 911 so I can report a murder. Murder.
Well, is
go
it a She
over
might
to
have
the
just
body.
fallen down the stairs. Who knows?
You said her neck
Yeah.
was broken.
Well, she fell down a flight
That
of
often
stairs.
happens when falling down a flight of stairs. Not every
I
time, but it
will-
often happens. Is known to
I will
occur.
dash on. Every time someone's fallen around on a flight of stairs near Irene, they've definitely had their neck broken accidentally. And I'm going to run over to the body.
Okay. Yeah,
Pull out my
we can do some
jitterbug.
meddling. It has
would like
three
to
phone
so
numbers
big.
it can call.
The
Who am
numbers
I
are
with?
so big.
Am I with?
They're so big. They're too big.
I'm with Deputy Andy.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be in a car with Deputy Andy when like a call comes in. It's like, hey, we need somebody back at the bread and breakfast. Is like he's still like hasn't reached the sheriff's office, which in a town like this he probably should have anyway. But like, there's no fun in that. Like that's.
Yeah.
Everyone didn't go
Leave
quietly.
Francis in lockup all night, right?
Or
Like,
Francis
no.
didn't go quiet.
It took a 30-minute car chase for us to get to the bed and breakfast in the first place. So
Yes.
Yep.
And that was only like 3 blocks, but
But I lost them.
the traffic in this town. What the hell? But yeah, we can meddle. We can try seeing what happened to Darlene here, and then have the real
I just watched
rival.
the Truman Show. So I'm just imagining every time you get out on the road, like cars pull out in front of you and like suddenly traffic. So I'm going to composure medal because I'm pretty sure this is me being cool as a cucumber and examining a body.
Right.
I'm looking for the telltale signs. I know what I'm looking for. Do I have anything that would help me here? Nothing. Most of my stuff is actually stationary. It stays back at my cozy place. But so we'll go with it.
I
Just
didn't realize
plus
that being
2 from-
wrong could kill somebody, but I guess that's fair. Got
Okay,
what we
I
wanted.
was expecting having to put Francis down in the middle of an interrogation scene. So this is a win if it's an FTC. Oof, not great, but that's 2 and 3 is 5, but plus 2, so 7, just barely scraping by.
All right. So yes, that does get a clue. Let's see. Let's see.
Before you have to decide on a issue that I deal with, I'm not going to make you do that. I'm going to go ahead and just take the Crown of the Void. So there's no problems for me getting this clue.
Okay. Yeah.
Move
Oh, no, he did a
shit
clue.
along. Let's go.
Yes, in her pocket. It fell out. It's over like on the bottom step. It's kind of crumpled up, fell out of her pocket. She rolled over it. There is a letter professing love with an invitation to meet at a specific time and place.
Does it say 8 p.m. after sundown by the place where they're planning on building the lighthouse, dated 1776?
No.
Irene knows it to be true. Okay.
It probably says like room 307, like half an hour ago, and it was addressed to Darlene.
I have an idea.
You're on the second floor, so that's like the next floor up.
I'll let other people go, but I do have an idea what's going to happen shortly after I'm done examining.
I kind of want to like specifically go for like some kind of night move, risky business. And so I think Mavis wants to, like, seeing that note, actually go up and like check out the third floor. Like, not in like looking for clues, but just like to get there, right? To kind of like sneak up to the third floor and see if, it's dark, all the lights are off, people are.
Oh yeah, there's one light at the far end of the hallway. It's once you make it up the stairs, and it's like flickering. It's like it's swinging back and forth like it's out of like a '90s alternative music video. Like it's so yeah. When you do something risky or face something you fear, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve.
I'm afraid that the killer's gonna jump me.
Okay. The keeper will tell you how it is worse than you fear.
Both killers jump you.
Yes.
Oh God, there's more than one.
Oh no!
I didn't know that was even an option.
God, how does it get worse than like the killer jumps you? The killer jumps you and kills you and makes you,
and
like,
you fall down the
makes
stairs.
You an accomplice. Yeah, like that's.
Yeah, like I think like what I was going for is that like the killer jumps out and like escapes, kind of deal. Like knocks me over and escapes. I think maybe the fact that the killer actually kills me does make that worse.
Okay.
Technically speaking, that does make it worse.
Yeah, just
what do I?
Can I just?
You can choose to back down or go through with it. If you go through with it, roll with an appropriate ability. So whichever ability is appropriate to doing this.
I don't know.
Composure is marked as like requires a steady hand, calm disposition, avoiding fear-based stuff, that kind of things. Yeah. If it is specifically like I'm treading into a place that I know to be dangerous. But there's also, there's others there.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Andy?
I was going to say, would Mavis be going directly for that room? Because if so, would there have been a moment where Mavis would have thought to either get the key from Irene, or they could have exchanged a meaningful look and Irene could have slipped you the key? Because now I'm feeling like that key with the winged flying bird on it, the bed and breakfast is called the bird-related bed and breakfast name. Insert over here. David, dub this in post.
Dub this in post.
The Quiet Crow. Yes.
The Quiet Crow. It's the.
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on. Let me give you a clean. The Quiet Crow. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is maybe the key is actually to room 307.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because I think Mavis decides this after like going to see where the body landed and all that kind of stuff, and being next to Irene, and just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna go check it out up there. Maybe they're still up there. We haven't seen anybody else come down.
Check to see if this key works. Yes.
Yeah. And so I'll roll plus composure seems fair. That is a 7 + 1, 8.
8. Okay. On a 7 and 9, you do it or hold steady, but there is a complication or cost.
the cost that I die.
Well, that seems a little extreme for like, you know.
Stop trying
But
to
yeah,
get
let's go.
yourself
No,
killed.
there's so many crowns though. It's not even a
Yeah,
threat.
there's so many crowns, and we've yet to cut to commercial. But I think you can only cut to commercial on this, so just gotta get that out there.
I think so. You were going up to check on room 307, right? That okay. So you can get up, and it's like it's kind of dim, and you can kind of get your way. It's like this 3 and 5. Okay, this one's 7. Like, do you knock? Do you use the key? Do you?
Try the key first.
The key does work. It opens the door. If you press the door open, you're greeted with a scream and like somebody using like an upholstered pillow to like bash at the door.
Oh.
Like from the inside.
Sorry. I'm not gonna murder you.
It's like that's. But yeah, they will back up and like the door can open and it is Janet Mashburn, pastry chef and contestant, holding a pillow off of a chair, like one of the bottom pillows that you would usually sit on. That's like a little bit sturdier than like a bed pillow. Why are you? How did you open the door to my room and stuff like that? And kind of like as there's like that interaction, there's also like that cutscene where we view that happening from another angle, and it's like down the barrel of a gun as you like go into that room.
Oh god. Yeah, maybe this will go in and say, we found this earlier on where did we find this key actually? I don't remember. The key the clues
It was
are
in
so
the
vague,
like
I can't remember where I find them.
it was in the oh, there should be a name for it. It's the kind of like the public space where everyone was kind of like having drinks and like kind of chit-chatting at first when we first got here.
Kind of the sit down lobby or the drink
like the
room.
sitting room kind of thing. I'm not sure what the right name for it is.
Parlor.
It's a bed. It's
Parlor's
a bed
a
breakfast.
good
So
one,
yeah, parlor. It's a house
Yeah.
key name.
So, we found this downstairs in the lobby. Someone had just left it sitting around. The reason I come knocking is that we also found a note that was confessing some I don't know, maybe it's not my business, but someone was arranging a meeting up here.
Do you have the note out, or are you just like mentioning the note?
Just mentioning the note,
Okay.
kind
of. Then she will
just testing the waters.
She will like actively deny knowing anything about the note. It's like I certainly don't know anything about what you like a note like that would be anything.
I mean, is anyone else staying in your room? Because
she would say that the key, I must have dropped the key downstairs by accident earlier.
I'm sure.
You know, I liked to have the backup just in case, but I must have dropped it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you heard, but that lady, with the farm, I think, can't quite remember her. She fell down the stairs and broke her neck. Yeah, Darlene, poor thing. Yeah, she's presently deceased recently.
She will take a very sharp inhalation, like, and like her eyes will just become very glassy and start to water, and she will like drop the pillow like at her feet and be like, "What?" and like try to go past you into the hallway.
Yeah, I think Mavis is gonna try to hold her for just a second. See, she had the note. I understand you're distraught, but it's a bit suspicious. It's kind of like
Yeah. She's like, but it can't have happened. She was just here a minute ago. I hadn't gotten to see her in a while. You know, we don't usually get to spend a lot of time together. And then this, what happened? I don't know what could have gone on. You know, I mean, um,
I'll let you go. Yeah. And then Mavis will like follow her, I guess.
okay. Yes, she will rush in the dark in the hallway, make it down to the bottom step of the steps, and like fall in a heap on her knees, like clutching at Darlene and cry.
And I have just a small, doesn't even need to be a scene, but Opal calls 911, and it's a small, like 911 like setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they
911,
patch,
hi.
yeah. So they patch Opal directly to Deputy Andy, who now has to drive back. But Opal is giving a just free, full-on retelling of how this woman fell down the stairs and what her body looks like now. All the details over the loudspeaker within the police car, so that all the details can be known for Francis when Francis gets back.
Opal was the smart one all along.
I
We're
mean,
gonna have a
she
scene
didn't-
later where Opal's been pulling the strings on this whole community.
Opal, this is how Opal would just react normally. She don't know.
That's awesome.
She don't
Opal's
know.
like, and ever
It's
since I quit
coincidence.
running the CIA and took on this identity,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like, you were the director all along.
I was. No, this would just be like, is probably how Opal would actually do the situation. It just so coincidentally happens to be that Mavis's or Francis is there.
Awesome. Yeah, then I think that Francis would quip to our beloved sheriff here, or deputy, and to say, what was his name again? Deputy
Andy.
Yeah, Deputy Andy. And so, like, as he's pulling, like, doing that 3-point turn with his car to bring it back to the inn, she'll say, "Now, Deputy Andy, we took our eye off the ball, and someone else has died. If you were there, this wouldn't have happened."
Like, well, procedure, not doing the, and he's trying to ignore you as he's looking back over the seat, doing like, it's turning into this like 7-point turn, trying to like get all the way around.
He's like partway stuck. There's cars on either side beeping their horns. No,
it's like the streets aren't real big to begin with, and once there's a car parked on each side, they get real narrow, and he's just like,
just 6 days of waiting for that car to get out of that turn.
His name is Deputy Andy Evergreen.
Evergreen. So yeah, I'm chiding him and saying that, well, as we have learned today, sometimes policies need to be bent a little in order to save some lives. Yes.
I think he'll be like, "Ma'am, I appreciate what you're trying to say, but I'm trying to drive here."
Okay.
I take your point, but I need to concentrate.
Opal never complains.
Thank you for bringing me back into the game.
But yeah, he will return back to there, and he will bring Francis inside with him when he.
It's really detailed too, like just the angle as best as Opal can describe it, because it's Opal. How many
one
stairs
foot is
she
on
fell
the
down.
landing, and one is still 2 steps up, but like the shoe is half off.
Yes,
it's half off, but it's like towards the inward. Yeah,
and she's wearing Velcro shoes, which is very odd.
Yeah,
all the details are laid out.
So yeah, I think upon returning, we're back in the parlor, right? And there's all these people,
Mhm.
right? And we're all starting to look at the thing, and Francis is kind of following the deputy, right? And he's like beginning to ask some questions and do his thing. And I want to say that like as he's doing his investigation, I want to be close to all of that and listen in and try and like piece some other pieces together.
Okay. Are you like?
Yeah,
Are you meddling in his conversation with someone?
Yes, absolutely, 1000%.
Okay.
Because like as things are going along, he's forgetting to ask some certain details, some certain questions,
Yes.
right?
Like,
And
or that,
so,
or like he starts to ask questions that, like, well, do you really mean this? Like,
right,
it's,
right, yeah,
was she
yeah,
wearing a hat? It's like, do you really mean was she on the stairs? Like, yeah,
right,
like, yeah.
yeah, exactly, and I want, yeah, I do want it to annoy him because I want him to prod Francis as to why
Because we
she's.
are all out here just to stick it to the man. Yeah,
That's right.
that's
That's right. Because I've one final quip. I got it.
okay.
The setup has to be just right. So,
The moment he arrived, Irene did see the deputy walk in and say, deputy, good to see you. Nice to see a police presence at a murder inquiry.
poor guys.
Man.
So it's like we
We
see
got
Francis.
here as soon as we could.
He finally stops Francis talking just outside the door, and then the moment he gets inside, it starts up again from somebody else.
Oh my god! Hey, just out of curiosity, Mike, is this my Frank Columbo moment?
It can be, yeah.
Okay.
How fancy is the deputy?
I mean,
That's
Deputy
right, that's right.
Andy is not particularly fancy.
Then I'll say
he's
I'll
not a
save
little
the,
fancy
I'll
lad.
save the Frank Columbo moment for some other time.
He may be talking to somebody else who
Who is?
Yeah, because like Joan Flory, the woman who runs the bed and breakfast, is described as being very particular and very precise and like
Perfect.
total precision with her hair and like all that kind of stuff. So like
Perfect. Then I would love for this to be the moment where Frances gets a little overlooked by those two, and because of that, she picks up on some details and all of those things. And is there a way for me to use this as like a reason role, like putting two and two together, connecting some dots that they're not connecting, that kind of thing?
Yeah, certainly. Andy is well intentioned, but not the sharpest knife in the drawer, right? Like,
yep.
First of all, rude. I'm right here.
I think
I was
the sharpest knife in the
waiting
drawer,
on it.
Andy.
I'm
I believe in
sorry.
you, Andy.
Oh, that's good. Okay, good. So thank you. I have a +1 in reason. That's why I was kind of gunning for reason there.
Gotcha.
I rolled an 11 on the die. So I get a 12 after my +1 to reason.
Okay.
So,
and it was Frank Columbo, so you get double clues, right?
Yeah, double void clues, yes.
Well, I think you get double regular.
I get double regular clues, and on a +12, I get an additional void clue.
Nice. Okay. Here we go.
And just to round out the quip at the end, I want him to finally get exasperated and be like, "Why are you here? Why are you following me around? Shouldn't you be with your friends or someone for comfort during this troubling time?" And she goes, "Why, dear, yes, I would love that, but you see, you still have me cuffed." So no, sir, I quite rightly need you before I can make my next step away.
I think he's like, oh, okay, I'll take care of that, right? And like turns around and starts to do it.
Cool.
And you will notice that in the hallway, underneath Darlene's body, there is an envelope containing a pair of train tickets to somewhere far away, dated tomorrow. Which, that's the kind of thing you can spot from across the hall when they're still in an envelope.
I see them. I'm going to go over and check them out in a little bit. I'll find all those details. While he's uncuffing me, I'm looking across the room, and there is, looking at the NPCs here, Jeffrey Cleary. Is he in the room?
Jeffrey Cleary, he is the guy who runs the pub, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Jeffrey Cleary with his like big blue eyes, I'm gonna give him a little wink.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you do that. He will like kind of like he's like a couple red glasses of red wine in because like that's just what's here.
Yep.
And he'll like kind of give like a little bit of a wobbly blush
Okay, good.
response.
That's what I need.
Behind him, you'll notice where was it? I just saw it. I just saw a good one. A historical map of Faversham dated 1877.
Wait. Is that what it says in the description of the thing?
Yes. An
How?
historical map of Faversham.
1877.
1877.
I was hoping it was 1777. I was like, what? How did I like?
It can be. I got a pen. I can say whatever the hell I want.
It should be 1776 to fit in with,
Yes.
with
all of our
everything
drama
that
around
Andy
it.
has said.
Yes.
Vampires. Carry on.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, and then void clues.
Oh yes, no. There's still more going on here.
God damn.
What was the other regular clue?
A
map?
historical map and the envelope with a pair of train tickets for tomorrow.
Okay, envelope with train tickets.
What if the map just says 1777, but the lighthouse isn't on the map yet?
Why is it signed to Charlotte? But, you know.
Lighthouse wasn't built when they said it was.
It was conjured
It's conjured.
by a foul vampire.
Oh, I love this
Um,
game.
Yes, I think as we're here waiting, we've been here and it's been like all day, it's stretched on into the evening, and now this is going on, and there's been people traveling back and forth. It's very late, but we do hear the town clock tower start ringing, right? So it's like bong 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 bong, and then does like bong bong bong, which is like the number of hours. And I think, David, you're the one who realizes that as it does this, like, 1, 2, 3, it stops at 13.
That doesn't sit well.
Were we close to midnight though? What time is it?
Apparently it's 13 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Frances would say something about that. She would kind of look around and just kind of under her breath, not trying to keep it quiet, but just under her breath, like 13 o'clock. That's not a time last I heard. And just kind of put that out there into the room.
Well, there was this time that my second cousin Billy wrote 13 on the clock at our schoolhouse, and it would just no one noticed for days, and it would just get to 13 o'clock. We'd go out and have lunch.
Is your brother in charge of the bells here in Faversham?
Well, no, of course not.
There's that theory.
I'll take my XP trigger and go home. Thank you.
Yeah.
He would never be involved in Faversham business.
I think Charlotte will like finish her glass of wine, pull her shawl up over her shoulders, and you'll notice it's like she has like a necklace that has that sort of like diamond-shaped eye motif that kept repeating on things down. That she'll kind of like touch and like kind of like tuck back under her collar, and then she'll be like, "Well, I'm going back to my room if there's nothing else for me to do here," and like depart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't let the door hit you.
And she does that as the clocks are striking 13.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because she's a vampire. Got it. Okay.
What was the story about? Well, vampires, I guess.
Did you have fun playing Brindlewood Bay? What was it? Yeah, what was it? What was it about? Mostly vampires. Surprisingly, it was very strange.
Awesome. And is there
It
a
was
second
like
void
old
clue?
ladies doing stuff and old ladies doing stuff, and just boom, vampires. The whole thing was just vampires the whole way down.
Something about lighthouses and the competition between two towns.
Oh, there was like baking competitions and people trying to make fudge. I don't even understand what this game is. Yeah.
And is there a second void clue?
Yes,
the necklace
I gave you your second void clue, but it's like it's a subtle thing.
It's in the necklace. Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
It was Charlotte turning into a bat and flying away.
Bat. Okay, perfect.
Certainly not copying names from one sheet of paperwork to another.
Okay, good. I'm happy now. Thank you. So many things accomplished in my one interaction. Got my XPs.
Yes.
I got my stuff. Frances is spent. She's gonna go lie down.
I think Mavis is kind of trying to see if she could find the trail of the killer. Like, I don't know how I would do that necessarily, but like they're either here or they left. And I'd like to narrow that down to one option.
It sounds like so it sounds like something that you would accomplish with the night move. Deputy Andy can say that, like, aside from when I left with Francis here and when the sheriff left earlier, we had a car out front. I don't know why he didn't respond to your 911 call, but we've had people observing, and
Because everyone here is stupid.
Opal has a way with the 911 operators. Like, I need to talk to Deputy Andy, and they're like,
yeah,
oh,
That's the name I knew.
yes.
Well, in the town, it's like the town has like 4 people who work at the police department. It wasn't like I called the 911 super hotline center. It's like
No.
Hello? Like,
Yes.
people don't usually call on this line. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
That's great.
There's another cat stuck in a tree.
Yeah.
Third time this week.
You only call this number if you don't already have the cell phone of Deputy Andy. So it's really weird.
I already told you, if you need to have your oven repaired, we're not the maintenance people. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I think if you're trying to like snoop around upstairs, which is like the only place that like people haven't particularly been, I think at this point, where what's Joan, the operator of the bed and breakfast, she seems really stressed out that like the lights up there aren't up to snuff. She's like, they were fine, they were working fine as of this morning. I if I knew things were going to be like this as soon as the sun went down, I never would have let anybody even stay here. I can't imagine having people in my place when the lights are acting like this and it's not like perfect. And she's very, very stressed out that there's like anything here that's like, oh God, they might leave a 4-star review on Yelp, right? Like, I'm going on TripAdvisor and I'm only getting 3.5 stars. Oh my God. End of days.
Just burn down the inn and start over.
Yeah.
I think before Mavis goes to snoop upstairs, she goes outside, like in the back. She pulls like this. It looks like maybe some kibble or something out of her purse. She's got a little baggie of it. She pulls it out. She says, Mr. Scritches, and then just kind of drops some kibble on the ground. And sure enough, some, a little cat with surprisingly dexterous front paws and a very floofy tail.
Some stripes on it.
And it's like
stripes,
little bandit mask on him. Yeah.
It's just the funniest part. He's like, oh, Mr. How'd you get all the way to Faversham? I just knew you'd be here. And then he's going to go up and check it out and say, hey, why don't you watch my back up here? It's dark, and I know you see better than I do in the dark. Just kind of like, it's going to go to check out upstairs. And that gives me advantage when I use Mr. Scritches. I think maybe this time I'll roll with reason because, like, I think this time she's more looking for like specific details. Yeah, and I think, I mean, we have to figure out what's the consequence, I guess, like the bad stuff. What do I fear will happen?
Yeah.
I think this time Mavis fears that the killer has already slipped him and is like somewhere else completely.
Okay.
And that she'll search around up here to find like that they're obviously gone and that, you know, they have no leads, basically.
Okay. And I think something that would make that worse than you fear would be they're gone and there's like at least another body up here from before they got away, right? Like
Oh, man.
Hey, at least look,
Hey,
this one's in
if you
Faversham.
don't like
We
it,
don't care about
wear
any
a
of these
crown.
people. Yeah, okay. So
This person is on a spree. They are not like, these are not like targeted killings. This is like a spree killer.
Okay, so this is, I said reason, right?
Yeah.
So that is a 9. Yeah, so it's a 7 plus 2, which is 9. What is the thing that bumps it up one level? Is that a crown?
Yeah.
It just bumps it up one. Okay, I will put on a crown of the queen to bump that up to a 10.
Okay. You do what you intend, or you hold steady. Describe what it looks like.
Yeah, I think Mavis is like poking around. This time checking the second floor. Right? Because yeah, the note said to go to the third floor, but that second floor is pretty dark too. And this I'm just kind of checking, like seeing if any doors are left ajar and like checking for carpet that's been like disturbed and or like a rug or something, and just looking for any like small detail that might have been missed that would like indicate where the killer might be.
I think as you get to the third floor, like 307, where you had been up to before, where you had talked with Janet, was it? Yeah. The door there is still ajar. But you also notice that there's like a sliver of light down at the farther on the opposite side of the hallway, where like there's another door that's open.
Okay. Yeah. Just gonna go in.
Okay. I don't know what's inside there. That's I'm not supposed to enjoy this game. I think as you get closer, you can hear the sound of a TV, and as you press the door open, it's actually like some sort of sports ball game that's on fairly loud, and you surprise because he doesn't hear you over the sports ball game. Frank, the guy who had the Fudge hat on earlier, who's sitting there in like his like tank top and like his like overly large decorated boxers, like didn't like and like grabs a pillow to like hold in front of him.
Davis slams the door.
Like
Davis slams the door. Just slams it shut. She's out. She's
Yeah.
like, tell me when I can open this again.
like yeah, I just a moment.
Preferably with pants on.
2 moments. Oh.
He wasn't gonna put pants on. It's so bad.
But yeah, you'll hear a click from inside the door, and then you'll hear like footsteps moving away from it. It's like, oh, okay, you can come in now.
Hello. Are you aware that there's been another murder, and can you account for your whereabouts during that time?
Another? Oh, I've been here in my room alone all night. I haven't left. I've just been here watching the game. Go local sports team. Local sports team 101. He says it in a way that's like he does know what he's talking about. Like it's relevant.
It's not
Yeah.
super
It's just,
suspect.
just me that's like, hey, beat other guy. So,
Pinch 'em lobsters.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It's gotta be like some kind of weird New England Eastern Seaboard kind
Get him
of
with
thing.
that
Yeah,
side
yeah.
grab.
Got like the big foam finger that's like, go see snails, right? It's like,
Mhm.
Sea snails.
yeah.
The Faversham lighthouses.
Yes, the lighthouse has been here forever. It predates the city entirely. But yeah, if you want to like be in here and like figure out what's going on and talk to him, that sounds kind of like a good
Yeah,
spot
I think
for meddling.
that's what I'll do. Maybe with like presents to kind of get him. See if I can either get him to say something that he shouldn't say to me, or just get some other kind of information that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so plus presence 0. That is an 8.
An 8. I think you will notice, like he got dressed. He's still wearing the tank top, but like he has his slacks back on and stuff. But he's over by like between the bed where there's like the little desk and over like the TV, and where you're at is like by the dresser that's in the room. And on top of that, there's like the little tray, and there's like his wallet and like the contents of his pockets, like a bunch of change and stuff like that. And you just notice in the corner of that tray is a Faversham library card with a big bloody fingerprint on it.
Does it have a name on the library card?
Whosever name you need it to be, buddy.
Whosever name I need to be, I guess. Probably one of the murder victims.
Yeah.
Let's bury this motherfucker.
Right now. We got how many clues we got?
I'm ready to get it. We've got like a billion clues.
Yeah, we have
1,
so
2,
many
3,
clues.
4, 5, 6, 7,
I
8,
think
9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will notice that you see that. Like he will see you like look over in that side of the room, and then like he will key in on it at the same time, and he will shout and he will like yell at you, and he will like go over to that side of the room and like shuffle that stuff around and like try to pick up the card, and he will be like, you get out of here, get out of my room, and he will like try to like he will shove you out of the room entirely.
Absolutely. It's leave. That's exactly what I wanted to do.
I don't want to be in a room with a killer. That's how you get killed.
Yeah, let's go bury this motherfucker.
Would it be possible for me to night move one more clue?
I was gonna ask if I could night move.
Oh.
We all just...
So night move is like do something dangerous, and getting the clues is the meddling move. So if it's just getting the clues,
perfect.
or if it's doing something dangerous, then
Well, then I would like to meddle,
okay.
I guess.
I'm just trying to get my character killed because I like all the ways you can prevent it.
Yeah, all the crown moves. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can only get a clue by meddling.
Right. Yes.
But can that still put you in danger, or?
The meddling move
depends on how bad it goes.
On a hit, you find a clue, right? On a 7 to 9, there's a complication. On a 12 plus, you also get a void clue. The general operating procedure in most of the PBTA games is like on a miss, the GM makes a move.
Okay. So since all this is going on, there's still a dead body here, right? Like they're taking care of that.
Yeah, they're probably like starting to like this meeting room, this parlor for the bed and breakfast is like upstairs from like an antique store or something. So like they have to like there's 2 guys, like Deputy Andy's on one end and like whoever like their local medical examiner is on the other end, like trying to get the stretcher up the stairs to where everything is for the bed and breakfast to try to deal with this body and stuff. But it is still there.
While they're doing that, I would like to slip outside and look out, see if I can see any footprints or like a running car, or just see if like I can find something outside that, since we haven't looked out there yet.
Okay.
And that would be a reason, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because the reason's kind of like, examining a crime scene, literally there, engaging mental faculty. It's reason's good.
I got a 6.
Okay.
Out in the dark, just with my phone flashlight.
Yeah.
Don't see anything.
That's like prime bricking situation.
So many men with bricks out there.
It's not actually the flashlight. It is a white scring.
Oh yeah, it's not even the.
Or
It's the flip
light.
phone, and it's just like the screen itself.
Yeah, it's
I think you
Crack
get out
detector.
there and you kind of like come part way out into like this kind of like back courtyard type area where there's a couple little like the black like metal tables where like they have like kind of like the mesh top type things where they would be like, oh, do tea outside in the courtyard. But you get like part way out across that space, kind of like separated from the building, and that's when you hear someone coming down the fire escape.
I am certainly looking.
So there is like you out in the space, the building, and like they would be cutting you off from getting back into the building. So
Okay.
They're ambiguously dressed and cloaked in shadow.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Opal's going to continue to check that out or get ready in some way. Are there any rocks? I pick up a rock. Opal picks up a.
Yeah, there's like a Zen garden type area.
Yep.
Yes.
You like duck down behind a hedge with like one of these like Zen garden rocks, and then like kind of like cut to the inside to another scene for a minute. Andy, you had something you were gearing up towards there too.
I do. I kind of want to do a preemptive night move. I want to do a night move where I'm planning on, because I have a suspicion that the killer is still here and that we are getting too close and they're going to make a run for it. So I want to sort of be kind of like ambiguously located in a convenient spot to step out and stop the killer at the moment when they try to flee the scene.
I think my only concern there is like, are the characters still together enough to theorize if we spread everybody out preemptively, right? Because like we still got to figure out who done it, and we got one in the garden, and we've got Mavis Benson, and we've got everybody's spread out. It's like, well, Francis decides that the person who did it is.
Yes.
Okay, but what if we Scooby-Doo it? What if that's successful and this killer that no one is able to identify because they're wearing a ski mask, and then we theorize and then pull the mask off?
Yes.
When we've
Like
got
that
them
way,
all
that way, I don't know. That way we don't like. That way the action can occur, but then still it could be anybody, right?
Right.
So,
I like it.
and they might have like pillows stuffed in their shirt. Like we don't even know what size they are, right?
Yeah.
Pillows stuffed in their shirt.
I'm still kind of on both sides of that one.
Because I think what Andy is suggesting is like a setup move, but there's not a way to set that up yet.
Yeah, and then like the outcome of theorize can be you find the right person, but like you're gonna have to do something to stop them, to catch them, to get them, right? Like it could be like you find them and they're here and dead to rights, and like, well, you got me, you meddling kids, right? Like, or we figure out who it is and they're already down the block somewhere, and we're gonna have to do some action scene to try to get them. So
I'm cool with that.
I have a night move that I want to do, but can we go to break and then come back?
Yes. Yes, that's what I was gonna say a second ago. Yeah, let's take our 10 minutes and come back, and let's figure out who actually done it and what we got to do to get them
We're gonna
in
solve
Deputy Andy's custody. Yeah,
we're gonna solve the sucker right now.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so everybody, we'll be back in 10 minutes, and we'll see how the Mavens fare as they are. Man, we're all spread out, and it's dangerous for each one of us right here at this moment, except for Francis, because I'm in a parlor full of people. But
a dead body.
The rest of you, we'll see.
Yeah, but any one of them could be a killer. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, guys. Yeah, we'll be back in 10 minutes. So 9:40 my time, whatever time you're in, plus 40 minutes. That's it.
20 till the hour. Like
yeah,
this,
20, whatever the thing is. Whatever the thing is. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Cool. There it goes. Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're good. Everything's fine here. How are you?
We totally spent all our time planning what we're going to do. So.
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
They're coordinated.
That's how we do.
Yeah. Let's see. Who goes next? I guess, Mike, you have to just arbitrate. Who's going next? Because I think there's like some competing night move desires here, right?
I don't know if it's competing.
Oh, okay.
I think Andy said it was.
My night move is to kill Opal before she gets a chance to act. So I guess we'll see how that plays out.
Okay, so what could possibly go? What are you afraid of going wrong? That's.
I'm afraid I might somehow give Opal superpowers and make her stronger that we can stop her.
Okay, and I'm supposed to tell you how it gets even worse. That's like, yes, we imbue Opal with all the powers of an angry god who can just destroy the entire universe.
That's exactly what we need.
Make
it in her image.
Opal turns into Persephone.
Yes, thank you. That would be the great end game status for me.
Pulls a Milos, turns into an elder god.
Mind bullets.
Yes.
Hashtag
That's
mind bullets.
telekinesis, Kyle.
I was going to say, although I do have a potential night move planned, I do realize it's more of an end game night move, and I'm willing to hold off and let Opal act first. If Opal wants to act, we theorize, I take a night move, that sort of thing.
Okay.
If necessary.
Sweet.
So, what is up, Opal? Yeah.
Opal sees this person coming down fire escape. They hit the ground running. Opal takes the rock that she grabbed from the Zen garden, bashes the person with it to get them to stop. Because obviously they're running from something bad if they're running.
The shadow at night with the brick was Opal the whole time.
Really? Yes. Absolutely.
I didn't know that was a move we could make.
The brick move.
Brick move.
Man, we're throwing all the twists in here at the end. Yeah. Okay, so when you do something risky or face something you fear, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve.
I think Opal is afraid that she's going to get beat up and scraped up a bit.
Okay. The keeper will tell you how it's worse than your fear.
Exactly.
Opal in a pool of blood, right? Like.
Sounds perfect.
You can choose to back down or go through with it.
I go through with it.
If you go through with it, roll with an appropriate ability.
Okay. I would roll with vitality, I guess.
Yes.
Probably if I'm going to.
Yeah.
Somebody
if you're doing strength, dexterity, endurance, athleticism, vitality. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to use that logic and reason to make this rock do its business.
I use my cozy friendliness to bash this person in the skull with a large rock.
You can just keep talking. We don't need to discuss what happened after this roll.
So, how'd it go?
It's a 3.
It's a 3. Oh. That is somebody making it down off the bottom, turning your direction, you starting to swing this big rock at them blocking your arm and shoving you, and like kind of like going backwards against like one of those like concrete planters.
Yeah.
And like
definitely.
Landing.
Hit my head, bleeding, unconscious. Yeah, it's great.
Or
yeah, unconscious. That's what we'll say.
I was about to say, or is Opal dying?
Yeah, is Opal dying?
There's an increasing pool of blood around Opal at that point.
I don't know that head trauma is a thing that we survive at this age.
Good point. Putting on a crown does what? makes it stop, makes the badness go away.
Could we cut to commercial? This might be our only chance.
Oh, do you want it? Yeah.
I really want to see it once.
Yes. You
Okay.
rolled poorly. We set out what the stakes were and what happens if you roll poorly.
And I did
and
poorly.
then I get to do a GM reaction, and my GM reaction is a very special keeper reaction, one that pays homage to the television shows that inspired the game. If a Maven undertakes a perilous or dramatic action that provokes a die roll, and that die roll is a miss, I can say, "Let's cut to commercial," before the outcome is narrated. Then you have the opportunity to create a commercial that is the sort of project that would be advertised to elderly people who would be watching a show like this at home in the middle of the day, such as furniture store, life alert, sweepstakes, or personal injury attorney. And then you get to narrate a commercial inspired by the prompt. If you do so, we return to the regular scene and allow the player to narrate the outcome as if they rolled a 10.
Oh. Okay. That sounds good too. So I have to deal with it. Do you get? Yeah. What's the topic?
My vote is C-Core laxatives.
No, don't make me do that.
I'm here like doing like, adult undergarments, like, depends. Your thing. No.
It's a Mad Men reference for me.
What if it's a brand of food that is so flavorless that even old people can handle it? What if it's like Blando, like you can find in the freezer section? Blando.
I don't know about the freezer. I want to say they make a bunch of different foods, but they all come in jars for some reason. It's like
yes, because like being a very old person is like being a baby again. Just a really big one, so you get the food in jars.
But you also have to buy
food.
the Blando jar opener to make sure you can open the jars.
That's right.
Yeah. So
well, they make the special can opener that like injects the hot water, so like it warms up right in there. Right? Yeah,
that's too confusing. No, it's a special over the price can opener. So there's this happy couple on screen, older, obviously. And the gentleman just looks very perturbed that his food is too spicy. Too spicy. And so his wife gets the idea, bing, it goes off. And she's at the grocery store the next day and pulls down one of these jars of Blando and meat sauce. And it's perfect. Like you look at the back and you'd see like the spices are the last thing on it. So, they're in the ingredients list. So they're, it's not very, it's very bland. And then for a limited time, if you have the coupon that you can get in your newspaper, you can also get the Blando jar opening kit. Jar opening kit to go with it. And she's like, this is a great deal. And, Kate takes a couple of the things, gets the can opener, goes home. Her husband loves the meal. And they end with a very gentle but very G-rated kiss. Maybe a peck on the cheek. All happy and lovey-dovey.
Very racy for those days. Is the peck on the cheek.
The peck on the cheek.
Yeah. Can the jar opener not be like just some like simple little thing, but is like this?
It's over-engineered.
Yeah, it's like two like motors, electric motors that like torque in different directions, and like if your hand was in there, you would get mangled. But
something you have to wall mount to use.
Yeah.
It's not like I'll pull it out of the drawer. It's like, no, we gotta
attach it to a waiver.
Like,
it's like one of those things like it turns on, it has that hum, and you hear it like ticking, tick, 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 as it's like opening the can against whatever level of strength a mason jar would have.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
It was $100 for that for that jar opener.
No, it came free. The food is overly priced, though.
Oh my god, the food is overpriced.
So it's like $10
all you have to
for
buy
a jar.
Give away this like.
People buy that shit.
Bodybuilder in a can opener thing. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, then you score a 10. You do what you intend, or you hold steady. Describe what it looks like.
Yeah, this person that is probably bigger than Opal comes down the fire escape, and she manages to get him right here, with the rock, bam, and like an elderly ninja, she stands there as they fall down. They kind of like topple to the ground, and that's like about all that Opal has. Like she's kind of like breathing a little heavy, like, and just looked at Andy's fucking window. And then in nervous, scared, oh my god, I'm a cute puppy like voice. She calls for Irene, because like, look at what I did. I'm also freaked out, but look what I did. So kind of calls her Irene and the other Mavens to come figure out who I just ganked in the garden.
I feel like there's an opportunity to do the theorize here. Because, like,
Yeah.
if the theorize is successful, hey, guess who's lying at the bottom of the steps, right? Like, hey, we got him! Like,
cool. So what's our next theory then, guys?
Yeah, who we when we roll this body over, right? This hooded figure.
Yeah, let me look at
Hmm.
So do we turn him over now, or do we theorize and then turn him over?
We have to theorize and then turn it over.
See what happens.
Yeah.
I think it's Frank.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
it's Frank. I think it's unrelated to everything else we found. I think it's one of those, like, the case is very clearly one thing, but then it turns out, no, this is just Frank killed Nell Quince.
Yeah, I
Because
think
they knew each other years and years ago, and she was deliberately going to make sure his Fudge lost.
Yeah, I think maybe there was like a bit of a rivalry between the Fudge Club and like specifically like the Daughters of Liberty, right?
the Ladies of Liberty.
Ladies of Liberty. Yeah. I think like there was a bit of a rivalry between them, and especially Nell had already said that she didn't like their artsy fudge. And so I think some of those things, I think some of the clues we had were actually related to Charlotte Weber, but they weren't like incriminating. They were just like, maybe Charlotte was like, hey, stay away because I caught wind of something bad, right? Like there's like connections there, but I think
I think it's also kind of come that like there's a few there that also feel like they are Darlene and Janet having a relationship that wasn't public.
Right.
And like, you know, there was a note around that, and they met in the room to the key to the room, and like the train tickets, like.
Yeah, and I think it was just a matter of Darlene, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So who's rolling it? We've got like a +3 on this?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, +3.
Okay. Who wants to roll it?
I can roll it again, or
I can roll if we
go ahead, Andy. Andy, roll.
Okay.
You've got the creepy.
If this goes still badly, I've got a night move planned. So even if I mess up this one roll, I get to roll. Again. Okay. We have a +3, which is good. I rolled a 5, so +3 gives us 8. So that puts us in
that puts us in mixed success territory.
Sweet.
Yes, clearly all of this evidence points to Frank. Frank having done all this. Frank, someone in there, maybe Charlotte, because she's been around forever and she knows all these things, might point out that, you know, Frank took up baking after his wife died. Maybe his wife and Nell never got along. Like, Nell didn't want her. Nell had, like, specifically excluded her from winning the fudge competition when she was alive, and that's part of why Frank does it now. Yes. But we figure out that, like, it was Frank. Like, somebody came down the things. Like, yeah, they matched Frank's build. And Opal's like, I clocked him in the head with this rock. And you kind of like come back outstairs, like he's right over empty space. Dun dun dun. Right, like a couple drops of blood that go off towards the fence.
My prize.
We gotta chase after him.
Yes.
I'll get the car.
I think Mavis is gonna go on foot and then send Mr. Scritches to attack. Because I think Mavis is still like kind of on the. You said the stairs were like outside of the building. Or
Yeah, so like the bed and breakfast is on like the second floor, and then there's like a stairway that goes down. There's like a courtyard in the back.
Yeah,
That's,
I think
like,
Mavis is
they
on
do
like
stuff
those
there.
outside stairs and like sees Frank like bolt to run and says, "Mr. Scritches, get him!" and then like runs after to try to get him.
Where, I was gonna say, where is the, and I know we can make this up, but I want to know if there is a specific place. Where's the bed and breakfast specifically located in Faversham? Like, are we near the lighthouse by chance?
Yes, you can see the lighthouse in the distance rotating.
Oh,
from
it's all lit up, and its reflection is
Mhm.
across the water, and then there's the bed and breakfast.
Part of it is like
Yeah.
you get Frank silhouetted as he's climbing over the fence by the lighthouse sweeping across your field of vision.
Mhm.
And like as it like it
Yes.
stops blinding you, then like he's gone. He's off the other side of the fence already. Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
could I use a night move to help catch Frank? I have an
Yes.
idea. So my night move, and I'm going to preface this by doing what I did last time because there's really no good time to do the Fox Mulder move except in like flashbacks. So for my Fox Mulder move, I have a meeting with for the viewers who are unfamiliar with. The Fox Mulder move is I get to meet with somebody who is intimately connected with the dark conspiracies. So they are my connection. I think he's called Mr. Z, if I remember correctly.
yeah, he was in here somewhere. I was checking on him earlier.
Mr. Z.
Yes.
And he's sort of one of my connections on the inside from my old life. And so I think the way the Fox Mulder move plays out is I describe where our meeting takes place. And so this happened at some point. We would see, I think one of the bed and breakfast would have just like a young waitstaff employee who's like helping fix everyone's drinks. And like I see Irene would see like, ooh, they have the nitro cold brew coffee stand installed. It's like, should they have damaged the antique countertops in order to install that? No, but is it a big seller? Yeah. So it's definitely something that was installed to make money. But I'll walk over there, but it's just as like, oh no, something's boiling over in the back room. And so the person who's working the station has to go back. But Irene goes up anyways and sits down and says, oh, one of the cold brew, please. And then we see somebody else just in unobtrusive clothes walk up and then pour the cup and then hand it over. And we'd like recognize them from the arm up or from the arm down as Mr. Z. And so that's where we kind of have our secret meeting. And what the secret meeting does is, again, for the audience, is it gives me a bonus to another roll equal to the number of void clues we found. So we have 2 void clues so far, so that's a +2.
Yep.
It's not quite the other one where I had +4 void clues or whatever, but I'll take this one.
I love it.
And
Francis is just here to make Opal look good, or my apologies, Irene look good.
Francis is perfect. I think what we'll have is through the conversation that gives me a rough idea of, hey, I think we know who the killer is, and I think you know how he's going to try to get away. And so rather than chasing after Frank, because I don't think I could keep up with him, Opal's running to the car. And I think Irene will jump in with Opal and will point Opal to swooping around towards the lighthouse with the intention of cutting him off. And then, so like we see, we like maybe cut back and forth between Mavis and Mr. Scritches chasing Frank, and Frank running and looking over his shoulder with blood still dripping down his face. And then the van with like Opal and Francis and Irene pulling up around. And then Irene will open the door and hop out. And so Frank comes running up, and Irene is going to be standing right there trying to block his escape. And I'm willing to do a vitality roll. I am going to physically restrain him.
Yes.
With a +2 from my Fox Mulder move.
Okay. What are you afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
I think if I fail, he's going to get away. I think it's dark enough. I think if he could get to a boat, he would slip away, and then we would lose him forever.
Okay.
And there would be no justice.
I think how it's worse is that he would hurt you and Opal and slip away.
Hmm.
I'm thinking more Opal's car, but that's
You can hurt Opal too. Like we can really sell
That
it.
would
It's
be
fine. That would probably hurt Irene more.
I do kind of like the idea of like the car stops and we see Mavis and Mr. Scritches like behind, like waiting, and Frank standing there looking around like a corner animal, and then you see Irene standing there with like the wind blowing, and then behind is Francis and Opal. So it's like they're still in danger if something goes wrong.
Right.
If he gets past Irene knows that he's gonna be hurting other people too.
Yeah.
okay. Cool.
I'm gonna night move +2 vitality. I'm gonna pull out the steak knife that Mr. Z slid across the counter to me when I was getting my coffee.
Yes.
Okay. 8 +2 is 10. So is 10 the success, or is 10 still
On
the
a
consequences?
10, you do what you intend, or you hold steady. Describe what it looks like.
Well, in this case, it's going to be
just so I can put a little extra color on it before we go too far. I think he does get that cornered look, and I think there's a walkway that's made of bricks, and he like grabs one and like he tries to throw it, but he misses and it goes wide. It smacks into like the door of the lighthouse, but hey, somebody had to throw a brick. We've been working on it for like 6 sessions. It hits the door of the lighthouse, and the door of the lighthouse you can see at the top has like this stained glass window in it. That's that diamond eye shape that has appeared all over town here. And then Irene.
Irene is going to dash forward, and then as he reaches down for another one, she's going to juke one way, and then using a level of agility that like you would expect from a woman half her age, let's say, she will use the movement of her jacket and spin around and take his leg out from underneath him, and is going to cause him to tumble and possibly hit the loose bricks of a walkway and like nearly fall down. So he's like dangling off the side, like into the water, with just Irene flanked by the other Mavens. And maybe Mr. Scritch is there, like considering clawing his hand, so he lets go.
Mr. Scritches is doing that, just kind of like vaguely scratching. Like he won't like draw blood yet, but he's just scratching, just kind of like making like
it's like a pre-rabies bite. He's like, I'm just getting it loose. I can bite you and give you a second.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so Irene will stand there with her mates around her and like hold him. He's dangling into the ocean. Hold him at knife point until Deputy Andy shows up.
Which is
I
another
think-
call I made on my jitterbug.
While driving.
While driving.
Like, it was very much not what should be done.
Sorry, I will let you weave your web, Mike. Sorry.
So yeah, you can hear like, Deputy Andy's car coming with like, I don't know what the hell they would have for like a distinctive siren, but like, it's Deputy Andy's car coming. But
It's
like
got that,
Mr.
that like
he's
like that, like
But it's Faversham's really bougie, so it's like yo.
they were trying to be extra fancy. They have like the European style sirens on all their police cars. But he's there, like kind of like holding around onto the edge as Mr. Squitches is like, and he will say like, the midwives of the void have a place for me. Persephone's arms open, and like he lets go and like falls.
I think we'll have a moment where like we see Irene consider reaching out to grab him and choosing not to.
Fair.
Man. Oh man.
So I will.
Opal is giving all this information to Andy, so like we can't be implicated because like you could hear the man talk on the call.
Yes.
Did you just hear what he said? Yeah, he just let go. He's falling. Oh wow, yeah. Oh yeah, there he goes. He hit the bottom. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
If he would have pushed off, he might have landed in the water, but no. Straight rocks for him. That's like just...
I will chide the deputy for showing up late, and I will be like, you missed your opportunity. You let him escape the first time. You then let him take his own life here on the docks. I am going to drag Frances over and be like, she has welts on her wrist from handcuffs, which breaks at least 3 local codes of how long you can keep an elderly person in handcuffs. So he's going to just get reamed out. This is old school Irene. This is, let me tell you where you fucked up.
Yeah, and Mavis is behind her like, yeah, and he messed up that. He faced just a real, what do you guys call this? Like some kind of local treasure, or I don't know. It just looks like a lighthouse to me. But you guys seem to be really uppity about it. So.
Yeah, he will like, well, it's been here since Revolutionary era, and it's our, we're the 3rd tallest lighthouse in the state. I think you will notice that Charlotte is like there's kind of like the crowd of people like starting to mill about, and Charlotte is back there and like kind of pulls her shawls up tighter and like turns around and like leaves.
While everybody
Irene is going to watch her leave.
While everybody's like distracted with looking at this dead man on the rocks below and all this kind of stuff, I want to do a night move.
Okay.
Where I go up to the top of that lighthouse and I pull down the gold-plated spire thingy that makes it just that much taller than ours.
Name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve.
I'm afraid of Charlotte finding me. Since she's a vampire. I don't want her to find me doing this. I know that like falling to my death should be the top fear, but that's not my top fear. My top fear is Charlotte finding me.
She finds you and pushes you to your death.
That works. I just don't want the vampire to see me doing this.
The way it is worse than you fear is that she could find you and end you. Like you get ended by like the vampire lady. Okay. Yeah. So climbing up on top of a lighthouse. What's your appropriate ability?
I would argue whatever your highest stat is for Francis should count as the vandalism stat.
Yes. I think composure, right? I've got to break and enter to this thing, and I'm sure there's a big padlock to the roof access or whatever, and so I gotta get through.
You gotta keep your balance while you climb. All that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Gotta avoid fear. Yeah. right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna do composure on this. Oh my god. Hold on a second. That's too cheeseball. I can't do it. Um,
You should have some painting supplies that would help with this, right?
yeah, I do have some glass palettes, turpentine, X-Acto knife, and scrape.
Scraping tools and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use that stuff to help me gain entrance to this secured location.
Okay.
And right a wrong that has been decades, if not a century, in the making. If I may be so bold.
Number 4 lighthouse, no more.
That's right. And so this is with advantage because I'm using some gear to do this. Totally doesn't help with any of the mystery shit. I just got to make sure that Brindlewood is back on top. Oh my god, that's a 5 and a 6. I'm gonna re-roll the 5. Okay, so 11 on the die plus 2. So 13.
Okay. You you do what you intend, or you hold steady, and
Sweet.
the keeper will tell you some extra benefit or advantage you receive.
Oh,
Describe what it looks like. So yeah, start with you getting this thing up there. What does that look like?
Yeah, I think that it's actually like a lightning rod. You know, so it's way up there, and it's got this like big heavy cable to like transfer lightning energy down into the ground or whatever. But it's been up there for so long, it's rusted. And so she gets up there and she like breaks through this like big thick lock on the trapdoor that gets you up onto the lighthouse level. And there's that big swoop of light, and there's this moment where like Francis is like silhouetted over the whole town, right? And that was like the moment of like, uh-oh. And then she pulls at this cable, and the whole thing's super loose and is just like dangling there. And so she just gives it a good like whip, you know, just a good jostle, and the thing comes down. And she detaches it, and the cable is just laying there on the ground of the lighthouse. And she's got this like big, like 8-foot long, obnoxious spire thingy, right? It's like probably, you know, comes to a point and has like a big glass ball at the bottom, because that's how they used to do the lightning rods, is like a big glass ball. So that's what it is this huge obnoxious thing, and she like carries it down the stairs.
So I think as you carry it down the stairs, you're looking at it, and like there's that glass ball at the bottom, and you kind of notice as the light kind of catches that like there's that same diamond eye shape inside it. Like you can see it in there, like just staring back at you. And there's a moment where like you think you hear something, and you like stop at the bottom of the stairs, and you kind of like look back at the stairs where they like spiral around the inside of the lighthouse back down. And you do see Charlotte standing up above you on the stairs. And she looks at you, and her eyes are just like completely black. Like, you know, the queen's time has come, and like just like vaporizes. Puff of black smoke.
Fat.
I dislike this. He had said something about Persephone and some other junk. This is not okay. So yeah, I'm gonna take the idol of this local cult and bounce
Yoink.
as fast as I can. Is there anything else going on in this lighthouse because of the stained glass situation and all that?
You can see it like casting light in like that shape onto the wall. Like you had to like cross through it as you entered.
Yeah.
That was probably like it was like you, and there's like you can't see up the left side because that's where like the stairs are. And it's like her in the middle and like the wall lit with like that symbol from like all the cars outside shining their lights that direction.
Not okay.
No.
Yeah, I think that Francis goes to the van, like opens the back door and slides that spire.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and then just like gets into the car and doesn't say anything to anybody. It's like, okay, we ready to go? I'm done with my business, having taken an extended bathroom break.
I just wanted to get in the way of authority by having blocked the deputy's car in for a little while.
Okay.
You know, as one does, because oops. Yeah. Just
I think in the midst of like all the people who've like collected, like there's starting to be like there was the other people who were like suspects, there's other people who were like looky loos, but like there's also like a car that pulls up, and it's actually the deputy mayor of Brindlewood Bay, who we met before a ways back, because he's like, oh well, you know, there was the thing in town today, and you know we heard this, now there's all this commotion out here, and oh, why I certainly, you know, I hope nothing has happened with you ladies. You're you know, fine upstanding citizens from the Brindlewood Bay, you know, community. I hope everything is fine for all of you, you know. But you know, I know that you give such excellent assistance to, you know, organizations such as the local police forces, even if they're not as good as the Brindlewood Bay Police. But you know, I just wanted to come. You know, I was still in town from, you know, I was here to attend the Fudge competition earlier, knowing that you were judging. Ashamed to see it go awry. You know, I hope to see it. You know, they'll get it back in shape hopefully soon. In the meantime, you know, we'll be back at Brindlewood Bay. You know, hyping our, you know, lighthouse, because that's still number 4. I certainly don't know anything unusual has happened here. But you know, I appreciate what you ladies do. I look forward to the things you would do for the Brindlewood Bay in the future. Like, you know, and you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you know, the mayor's planning on retiring after this term, so I'm starting to get my stuff together to run for mayor. If I could, you know, count on your vote, I'd appreciate it. And he will hand you all, like big like vote for like voting buttons, that are all like, you know, vote Weber for mayor.
I suggest to him that perhaps the record keepers should like maybe do a measurement of the lighthouse versus the Brindlewood Bay lighthouse.
Yeah, Opal having heard the giant spire being slid into the back of her face.
But she looks completely innocent because that's Opal. Mm-hmm. That would very much, you know, that would very much help with your re-election effort.
Like, yes, I certainly look forward to it. It's like, you know, I know that, you know, buildings like this that date back this far, you know, they can settle, they can adjust, they do the upkeep to keep them safe, but they can shift and move. You know, anything could happen. You know, yeah, maybe we're not 4th anymore. Maybe we're moving up the rankings.
I don't know, and I need to look at the moves, the basic moves, because I kind of want to know. Would this be kind of like a day move? Can I vibe check the deputy mayor using sensitivity?
That might be the occult move.
Well, the occult move is like creating rituals.
Oh shit.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. But sensitivity is like your ability to key into the supernatural. It's still nighttime, so it would still be a night move if we're trying to do something. I think, because of course, you know, go out a big blaze of glory. Just do.
I would like to vibe check, and I think what I'm afraid would happen if it goes wrong is I might learn more than I want to.
Okay. Yeah. So
The vibe check turns out he's a serial killer.
If failing is finding out more information than you want to, what is success? Just finding out.
It's
Like
I
what
want
kind of
to,
a vibe are you trying to determine?
I want to get a read because he seems suspicious and culty, but I want to get a read if he is suspicious and culty and dangerous, like Charlotte Weber, or if he's suspicious and culty and potentially usable, kind of along the lines of the Mr. Z.
Okay.
Is sort of what I'm going for. And it's not so much I guess phrasing it, I learn more than I want to is kind of obtuse, but more along the lines of like,
there's been a couple moments already of like being exposed to more than intended. So like
yes, yeah. I feel like I would rather not let him realize that I'm maybe realizing what he is what I'm afraid will happen.
Okay.
Just like you don't want the vampire to know that you know they're a vampire, which is definitely not something we would do.
Right.
So I'm gonna do a vibe check, a sensitivity roll, to figure out if he's good culty or bad culty.
Useful culty.
Is he? He's an 8 plus 0, so
you do it. You hold steady, but there's a complication or cost.
I'll take it. I'll take the complication or cost.
There is definitely a weird feeling that goes down your spine as you're like kind of like here talking to him more. This is more exposure than anybody's really had with like spending specific time in conversation with him in the past. So like there's a chance for more of that to like there's something unsettling a little bit, like that like the little chill that runs down your spine. Which makes you think that like yes, there is something unusual going on with him. And I think to give you like, hey, even like let me mention something. Yes, the guy who gave you the vote Weber for mayor does remind you of Charlotte Weber somehow.
Oh. Well, shit.
And I think you will also notice that
I think a clue just passed us by, guys. I don't know where I got that from.
He has one of those tie clips where it's kind of like rectangular. It comes across from the side to hold it to the back, and on that it has that diamond eye shape on it. Like, well, I know you have great things to offer, Brindlewood Bay. We'll be keeping an eye on you, a close eye on you all. Have a good evening, ladies. Anyway, depart.
Irene, for the first time in her life, is shooketh.
Well, he seems nice.
I personally like the current mayor.
Ladies, we should go home.
I think so.
Irene is at a loss for words, so Irene will simply get back into the car.
Francis, do you have everything you need?
Yes, I've gathered all of my things. Thank you.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here are the deputy's keys.
And the car drives away.
And like as we're driving away, like we're leaving Faversham, like once we pass the like city limits or whatever, right? Then Francis will say, "So, do you have any idea what I can do with this giant golden spire I took from the lighthouse?"
I could probably make that into one of my furniture pieces if you want to collaborate.
That sounds like an artwork piece between the two of you.
I think so.
Make it a little functional, a little artsy, a little dangerous.
I think so. Yes. I'm glad none of them saw this. Though I did see Mrs. I'm sorry.
This is Deathfire.
Mrs. Weber briefly within the lighthouse. I think she saw me leave with this.
How did you see her within the lighthouse?
Oh, I just saw the shape, and just a little glint in her eyes. I knew it was her. And then she was gone.
How did she move so fast?
Oh, I don't know that she walked. I think there was something very strange in Faversham. Very strange indeed.
Why we should get back home.
That woman
Where,
frightens me.
where certainly the tendrils of whatever's in Faversham don't extend to Brindlewood Bay. Yeah.
Yep.
No.
We did it. We solved it.
Yay! We
solved it and did more things.
we willed a vampire woman into existence. Okay, that's.
Yeah, we did.
Well, you know, it's the cosmic horror part, right? It looks she might look like a vampire, but she's like some kind of eldritch horror.
Yeah.
Resembles a vampire.
Oh, and I'll mention what she said something about the queen. The queen is displeased or something like that.
Yeah. And I think Irene will definitely like just say in that moment, like, she frightens me.
Yes.
Frightens you.
I'm gonna hold that. It's in my coat, but Irene is definitely gripping the knife a little bit tighter on the drive home.
It's just bricks from the side of the road. Right?
There's a worry there.
Cool.
And I don't think Irene will expound upon that too much yet.
Ethan, did you put on a crown?
I did. I put on a crown of the queen. And I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. So which one of those did you pick?
I picked. Let me go back to the main page of my character sheet. I picked a scene in the present day showing a private side of you very few get to see.
Okay.
And I think, is it time to do that scene?
I kind of think so.
Yeah. So I think the Opal has dropped Mavis off at her home. And you know, we see Mavis walking up to the door and, you know, fishing her keys out of her purse and unlocking it and going in and all that kind of stuff. And she, you know, goes to her house, turns on some lights, and then pulls like an old record out from like this. She has this like box, kind of like a table that has like a drawer in it, basically. It has like an urn on it and like some pictures and stuff like that. And she'll pull out an old record and then put that on, and then grab like a little thing of like Chinese takeout out of the fridge, and then go sit down on the couch and turn on like a very specific movie. It's like an older movie that like nobody who was born after like 1940 would know the name of. And as that's playing, she just she kind of eats a little bit and then looks over at the little table with the pictures and says, you know, "Happy birthday, Vern," and then just kind of watches the movie and eats her food and listens to the record. And yeah, that's something she does every now and again. That's about twice a year. Yeah, and I don't think anybody really knows about that. Maybe a couple of the Mavens have happened to kind of be over or come over like while that was going on, but yeah, it's not something she really talks about.
Were there any other crowns that happened tonight?
A crown
I
of
took
the
a
void.
crown of the void. But
Okay. I think that one starts to affect your cozy moves moving forward. The first one. Okay.
Yep.
So,
I'm ready for Mavis and Irene to have a cozy move together. Just all
Double shadows in
spooky.
the garden.
where are all these things coming from?
It's the middle of
There's
the day.
There's two shadows at the window, and each one is pushing the other one out of the way to try to get a better view.
Wait, what's even more fun is shadows in the garden, but it's the middle of night and there's no floodlights in the yard. It's all shadow, I guess.
And yet they're moving. I don't know what this is.
No, turn on the light. They can't see us. No, just grab them. Stop it. You're pushing me. Stop it. Stop pulling my hair.
Did we hit XP triggers for everybody? We solved a mystery, so that's one.
We solved a mystery. I didn't interact with any young people, so I didn't get that one. I think by kind of making a very snide comment about the deputy mayor and basically saying that Mavis is not going to vote for him, I think that was secretly undermining his authority.
Yeah.
So I'll take 2 XP.
I told a story about my second cousin, and I blocked in the deputy's car.
Nice.
I undermined the authority on a number of occasions. I'll take 1 XP for that. And then I also got the young buck in the bed and breakfast to blush, so I'll go with that one.
Still got it. I behaved like a woman half her age through
Combat.
through trained knife fights.
Yes.
And also secretly undermined authority by verbally abusing the deputy.
Was that secret?
Yeah.
Yes. In
Yeah.
secret.
She kept
Well,
going
the
even
fact
after
that-
he left. That's why it was secret. That part was secret. You didn't know about that one.
The fact is that I did it to his face and then also did it to the journalist who showed up afterwards. So I threw one of those. So I will take my 3 XP. I did not hit another XP track naturally.
I did.
Yay!
I erased my
away.
composure.
One away. I should have talked to. I thought about talking to the Toby Maguire, but I forgot. So.
The Toby Maguire.
He was real popular there at the bed and breakfast.
It was.
Solve another quick mystery, Mavis. Just while we're here. Where did I put my glasses? Hang on, let me theorize.
How many void clues do we have? I feel like we're drowning in void clues. We could go do stuff with that.
We are.
You got
up
3
to-
tonight.
Yeah. And then we got like a lot in the bag.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 8 total.
Yeah. Yep. Those more like unlock new occurrences, right? In like the void mystery. That,
Okay.
Like they do for like.
Yeah. They unlock more stuff in the void mystery. Like it's got 4 different thresholds for like, here you start to learn about something, and here something else, and here something more starts to happen, and it's like you're 1 away from like the next. At tier 3, these things start to go on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting close to Galactus invades end time shit.
Yes.
What's
Dogs
the one
and
that
cats living
starts
together.
to wake up? What's the other god that starts to wake up and then we're all like just parts of its dream? We need it to stay asleep so that it will continue to dream us into existence.
In the original, it would be Cthulhu. In this one, Persephone, I believe.
Persephone. Okay.
Yes, the midwives of the fragrant void, which somebody did mention by name at some point tonight. I forget who. I apologize.
Mhm.
Who are that they reference.
I believe
Frank
it was
mentioned a
referred to
lot
as
of stuff.
Persephone.
Frank.
Because, yeah, Frank mentioned a lot of stuff
Mhm.
because he's not about to have to deal with it. He's dying.
Yeah. He's about to commit suicide. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool.
are we go ahead.
That's what I got for tonight. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Unless there's something else that y'all want to do or hit. Or
I gotta
something.
I'm just gonna lay this question out here. What are we doing next Wednesday?
That is a question.
I
Okay.
think we're transitioning.
The
Are we?
original schedule was that next weekend or next Wednesday was when we're going to start red markets.
Okay.
Is that what we still want to do?
I know there's a whole bunch of void stuff that just got thrown in everybody's lap, and that's like piping up kind of high, and that was something that people expressed an interest in. I mean, we can talk more about it.
Okay. So next Wednesday, to be determined.
Yeah. There will be a game on Wednesday.
There will be a game. We just don't know exactly what the game is.
It's a mystery in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So tune in, hang out in the chats on our Discord, and, roll for clues, and we'll give you clues.
Yep.
And, come Wednesday, you tell us.
Yeah. Check in on Friday and Saturday. Just like.
Yeah.
You got to add the dice rolling bot to the Discord, and then have a channel for it so that people can be like, I'm going to look for clues.
That's right.
Roll 2d6.
Yep.
We have a dice rolling bot. Uberbot lets you roll dice. So there you go. And just roll some dice with Uberbot folks, and we'll tell you what's up.
Maybe.
Roll 2d6 plus reason. And yeah.
That's right.
If you roll 6 or lower, you do unfortunately die and have to leave the Discord.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
But you can put on a crown if you've got them.
Yeah, permanent ban. Otherwise, you put on a crown. So,
or you can end up or you can make a fake commercial for a product aimed at the elderly.
That would work. That would work really well for us. Okay, so everybody at home, thanks a ton for being here. This has been a blast. I am gonna have us raid. Oh, McStabber. McStabber's been really cool. In the Discord, talking about all of his White Wolf stuff and his crazy cool setup over there. So we're gonna raid.
I think tonight is supposed to be the last episode in their Wraith campaign arc.
Yeah, and they're really cool. They pre-record everything and edit it and put it out there in the wild, pre-recorded, which is super smart.
Yeah, and chill and watch.
Yeah,
long with everybody. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna hit the raid button on these cats. Everybody, thanks a ton for tuning in, and as always, have fun and play well.
May all your rolls be crits.